The master category section each week is when we get to talk about the tokens we drew the week before, which give us our categories. We pick our topics based on those categories. Patrick, you got art and design. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, speaking of that, I do have art and design, and got a very cool thing this week. Excited to talk about. This is something that I've been working towards for this entire year so far. I think we started on this project end of last year, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
This is something we've been working towards, and very excited that it is finally rolling out. So now, today, you can head to timededition.com, and time to get. You're just showing off the mighty mug.
Terribleness of that.
I wasn't trying to distract you. I was just. I took him
I'm
out while you were
fully distracted because I'm looking at Star-Lord right now. Embedded goggles. Radioactive face Star-Lord. So anyway, today you can go to timededition.com and see all the awesome content there. So what it is it's a group of artists that were all creating content that you could go to their individual sites and find, but have said now we're going to put them all on one central platform so it's easier to get to the content, but not just our content, but everybody's, because it's all in like a central location. It's also an opportunity to find other artists you may not be aware of yet or that haven't checked out their stuff. So we're really happy to be a part of that. Perspective Collective, which is a great podcast. We've talked to Scotty on here before. He's a part of it. Happy Faces on Everything, Hayden Obey. I mean, talk about awesome educational content.
Yeah.
When it comes to 10-minute and 15-minute just deep dives into how-tos, like he's the
Photoshop
man.
and Illustrator,
Absolutely.
He's the man.
So Happy Faces on Everything. We also have, jetpacks and roller skates. And the thing is about his, which is really funny, because we were recording this a week in advance, and so I'm talking about things that aren't fully done yet. Jetpacks has something really, really cool. This is a unique type of content specific to this platform that he isn't doing anywhere else. And so it's still kind of under wraps, but just know he's there and it's something to go check out. And then also,
I can tell you as a third party who I've not been involved in the planning on his, but I've heard a little bit about what he's doing. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And then there's also another Scott. We have a Scott and a Scotty. That's great. He's on the Georgia Film Board or something like that, and he's doing film reviews. Just all these really talented people that are again creating content. It's all. And then
also we're there.
And also we're there. Yeah. So we do a podcast every week, and that podcast is going to be there. But it's also an opportunity for us to do some other things, like break out some more of the playthroughs and reviews and things like that. So really, really cool thing. We're pumped to be a part of it. The other thing is, as a developer, this is something that I got to build. This is something that I've kind of
flex your muscles a little bit.
I had to work into my free time, and it's meant many late nights, like getting it done.
Yeah.
But I'm very, very proud because there's a point where, at least the way my career progression has gone, was that I was doing a lot of freelance stuff, and it wasn't that good. It was very early in my career until I got a job, and then I stopped kind of doing freelance because I've been working for other people. And so this is one of the first projects that I've been able to kind of make it through in what I consider my adult career, that I've been able to put out in the world. I'm very proud that that's something that I got to be a part of in realizing. So,
did I miss you saying the name of it?
I said it. You missed it. Time Edition.
Okay.
Yeah. Timededition.com. So anyway, the point is, it's brand new. This is like a soft launch. So we're announcing it to you guys, to the people listening right now, but it's not going out to the world yet. It's just going out to you guys. So go check it out. Check out the content, sign up to the mailing list, all that kind of stuff. We're still rolling new things out. We still have new contributors joining. If this is something you want to contribute to, if you're already creating content and you want to get your content out there or be a part of the platform, awesome. Send us an email. There's a link in the footer that says contribute. Click on that link, send us an email, send us a link to the stuff that you do, tell us about it, and be a part of it. So The goal is just, again, it's
So if I were to, I'm going to take a stab at describing this on a different level or using different
sure.
words.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're listening to this show and you are part of a community, a design community, or like a pop culture arts design community type thing where you're looking at the latest movies and you're watching them, or you are a graphic designer and you're always looking to learn new tips, tricks, those kinds of things. If you're into interviews with some of your favorite artists or designers or things like that, or you like listening to our show, you're into podcasts and you want to hear more podcasts that are similar or at least have that same kind of voice that we have. This is a good spot to go because it is an aggregation of all of those things. And it's going to be super fun to be kind of tagged in there right along with some of these other content creators because they're super, super talented. And it's nice to only have it kind of be like a one-stop shop. So if you are in our Discord family, it's like that, but for content. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, like that's a way that you would say that. It's kind of it's curated aggregation, and I think it's going to be super, super cool. So check it out.
The other thing too is that it gives us an opportunity. We do the show, we do the podcast, in like the format stays the same, right? We have the same format every week and the same type of material every week. It's audio, it's video, it's the same process. And I think one of the exciting things for us too is that this gives us the ability to branch out and try some new things, whether it's articles or again like more along the lines of play tests, reviews, things of that nature. So, and that's exciting. So look for some different types of content. If you support us on Patreon, thank you. This is one of the things. Patreon is a big reason that we're able to invest the time into being a part of something like this. If you don't support on Patreon, this is a great time to start because, again, we have more of this type of content or different type of content that we've done up to this point that this gives us a platform to actually start kind of putting out in the world. Yep. Again, if you're already creating content, if you're already writing articles or podcasting or creating videos or whatever, and this is something you want to be a part of, hit us up. And but anyway, very, very cool thing. So again, timededition.com. Go check it out. Let us know what you think. Especially because this is like early access, people, and if something's bad, you need to tell us so we can fix it. So let us know what you think, and that's it for me.
Okay.
Andrew,
yeah.
Why don't you go?
Okay, so I got TV and film, and I could not be more thrilled this week because if you've followed the show for any amount of time, you know that I'm a huge Arrested Development fan. And last week, we got the re-release of season 4 on Netflix, but it's a remix, and it's called it's called Arrested Development Fateful Consequences is what it's called. And so what they did, if you remember, 3 years ago? I think it was 2015.
Has it been that long already?
Yeah, it's been a bit. It happened, we were still in Ohio. So, when it released, they released season 4, and it was Netflix picking up the show again. And so the way that they did it was a totally different vibe because all of the actors who were in the original show, they brought all of the original actors back. But from the time that they canceled the show on Fox to the time that they brought it back on Netflix, every single one of those actors became successful. And so their schedules were so all over the place, they couldn't film a traditional TV schedule. So it felt very choppy, and each episode kind of focused on one of the characters. The mainstay of the show being Michael Bluth, played by Jason Bateman, who worked his way kind of all the way through the whole season. But every other character had like 1 or 2 episode arcs that were all devoted to them. And the episodes found themselves being about twice as long as the original episodes so that they could tell a cohesive story. It was a 15-episode season originally, and there was a lot of backlash. I think generally speaking, people were excited to have Arrested Development back, but a lot of people took issue with how they did it because it didn't feel, even though it was Ron Howard, who was doing the narrating. Even though it was all the same actors and all the same characters, it didn't have the same playful vibe because they weren't able to play off of each other as easily.
Right.
So that being said, in light of season 5 that they just announced, coming out in 2 weeks. It will be out in 2 weeks. They decided to go back and
you're right too, because when this comes out, you're better than I am.
Yeah, Mike Hurwitz, who is the showrunner and the creator of Arrested Development, decided to go back and remix everything. So what he did was take those 15 episodes that were longer in length and decided to recut every episode from the beginning all the way through to the end. It is now a 22 episode season, every episode being the typical 21 to 22 minute length. All in all, they cut 8 minutes off of the entire story from the original season 4, but they intermixed all of the storytelling so that it played the way Arrested Development typically plays. Now, I have had a chance to go back and watch the entire thing. So I've seen the whole season 4 now. I absolutely loved it. I thought it made so much sense, the way that they wove everything in and out. And I think mostly because of this, it felt like it had the beat and the timing of Arrested Development. The other one felt like it kind of slogged along a little bit. Like there were some episodes that felt very long, especially the Job arc, which was very strange initially, and the George Sr. arc, which was also weird. And then even Tobias and Lindsay's arc originally. So what they went and did is take all the content that was already shot and they put it all together to tell the same story, but did it in a much more fast-paced, deliverable, like what you would expect kind of way. And for me, it absolutely won the day. Now, this also is getting some backlash because some of the actors have been...
I didn't know if you were going to talk about this, so I was sitting here waiting to talk about this.
So I think the fans are enjoying the new deal, but the problem is the actors were paid for a 15 episode season. Especially some of the actors who are in more of the episodes now that have been mixed in. Right, they get paid per episode. There's 7 more episodes now. And even though they didn't go back and do any additional work necessarily, they are asking for more money now because of the longer episode. And I don't know. I'm sure they'll figure it out. But I hope it doesn't leave such a bad taste in their mouth that they can't figure it out, and that we will see a parting of ways from some of these actors, because the story that they're telling is just so good. It's smart. It's very witty. It's very well timed. The actors have, at this point in their career, really honed how to play their character, and I think it would be a shame for this to kind of trip anybody up. I mean, I understand where both sides are coming from, right? There's no new content. They just remixed it, and all the work happened on the back end. But the actors are now, they signed a contract for a certain number of episodes. There's now 7 more episodes based on what their original contract said. Maybe they need to get more money.
Yeah,
so
it's tough because certainly you wouldn't want a studio setting out to abuse that. You wouldn't want a studio setting out paying people for 4 episodes and then after they're paid, recutting it to 20 episodes. This is 4 3-hour episodes. So I can see how you could set a precedent where that could be abused. Absolutely. Yeah. So intention almost seems like part of it. And certainly they do stand to profit off of the recut. I mean, they're posturing it by moving to the 22-minute episodes. They're posturing it to be picked up by a network because it's now the length that with commercials are 30 minutes. It fits the other seasons. Now they're going to have a 5-season run, and so they're setting it up for future syndication, and so they're setting it up to make more money off of it. So I try to think about it in terms of less dollars, because when someone's getting paid $100,000 an episode, it's easy to feel like they're being greedy. But so I'm trying to reduce that to a level that I would get paid. So if I'm thinking in terms of $10 an episode, and if you just jip me on $70, I'd probably be really annoyed. and probably demand that money, especially if you were going to make back more than that. I think I'm siding with the actors. However, I don't know that we will know what the legal precedent is, because my guess is this will get settled behind closed doors.
Sure.
Just to stop any bad press.
I want it to. I don't want it to proceed.
So as far as like what is right and what is wrong, I don't think we're going to get to actually hear that be settled. My guess is that, someone is going to step up to the plate and resolve it with the actors, because they don't need this press right before season 5, and they certainly wouldn't want to. If season 5 is a success, they certainly wouldn't want to shoot themselves in the foot for a future season. So
can I ask, why didn't they just cut it that way to begin with?
Well, because Netflix doesn't run commercials, so they were cutting them to 30-minute episodes.
Some episodes ran as long as 38 or 39 minutes.
Yeah, so I guess... So it does seem now like they are reposturing to say they want it to be picked up for syndication.
I don't think that's it necessarily. I think they're repackaging it so that it fits the rest of what the show was originally.
No, I get that, but why didn't they do that to begin with? I guess is the question, because it looks like they just, if they were really paying these actors for 15 episodes, that was a way to save money, and then now, they got
I don't
7
think
extra
that was
episodes.
It at all. I think it's for what they, and this is all speculation because I don't know, but I think the reason that they went the other direction is because the intricacy of the story, when you look at the whole story, if you go back and watch it, how they wove everything together is the editors did an amazing job. Now, Ron Howard did come back and re-record every bit of narration to make this actually work and make sense. So I'm sure there were some pickup scenes and things that actors were paid for for new content. But I think they were trying this for the new format. And because the actors weren't able to be there for all these other things, it was easier to tell complete stories over a longer form episode than it was to do what they ended up doing. This took a ton of work to remix and remaster all of this.
Sure.
They probably didn't think about it all on the front end. That's my assumption.
My thing would be that whether intentions were good or bad, whether it's innocent or not, the actors still need to press the issue, because you don't want to set the precedent that a studio could abuse a group of people. And so you just kind of, in the same way that companies like Disney and stuff like that need to be pretty ruthless with their copyright, because if they stop enforcing it, then they're setting a precedent where they can't enforce it. I think the actors still need to pursue getting compensation to prevent a studio from being malicious in the future.
Yeah. So anyway, I've seen the whole season. I love it. Go if you're an Arrested Development fan, go back and watch it. I think it redeems itself in a lot of ways. I've also watched season 4. You can't watch season 4 the old way now. It's not there anymore. So the new season 4 it's replaced the old one. So if you're new to Arrested Development, you won't see any difference. But it will feel like they will all feel cohesive, which is an issue that we had before. Was there wasn't the cohesion. Season 5 trailer debuted just a couple days ago, about a week after they dropped season 4 remix, and it is it proves to be very, very funny. It picks right up where season 4 takes off. Yeah, it picks up where season 4 leaves off, which is great because season 4 picked up 6 years later, and I think that was a trouble too initially, just trying to bridge that gap. So this season, from season 4, I think is going to make a big difference, and they're doing a really cool kind of guerrilla campaign around it too. They're doing a great marketing campaign. This season is kind of focused on Lindsay running for office. And so they have a campaign trail where the stair cars are going around the country, and they're stopping in just a handful of cities around the country. And one of those cities is Austin. And so this weekend I'm going to go get my picture taken with the stair cars
in like a couple of days.
Oh yeah, very, very soon.
Like you're going in like 2 days. Are you going to do the Never Nude meetup as well?
I won't. I won't be doing the Never Nude meetup, but I'm thrilled. I love that Arrested Development is back, and
Someone did point out it's very appropriate that this weekend is Mother's Day with Arrested Development. This is
I'm going to
this
be a
would
mother
be a good
boy
time to
this
do.
weekend.
They should have done a mother boy meetup. That's what they should have done.
A mother boy dance. Oh my gosh.
That's what they should have done for Mother's Day.
That would have been incredible.
Anyway,
And
I'm
Luke,
jealous
one of these
that you're
days
getting
you'll
to go.
watch this show, and you'll know what we're talking about.
Listen, here's the thing about this show. I'll give it another chance, but I've tried to watch it twice, and I don't love it.
And each time a pet animal died. It's like an omen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just cut it out. That's fine.
A pet animal
Well,
as
it's
opposed
staying
to
in.
all those pet humans that you have. It's oh gosh, I love every second of it. So that's me. Luke, are you the final it?
I'm the final it. Yes.
Good. Good.
Okay. Well, that's a halfway decent segue. Speaking of it and clowns, I'm talking about a game, and this game was a Kickstarter. It's called Barker's Row, and the
Doesn't sound
idea
related.
is that you play a carny, and you're trying to get rubes or marks or pawns or people to go into your bandstand and see your attractions, and whoever fills up their bandstand first wins. And so you do that it's a card game. So the game is essentially a card game where you have a hand of attractions, and you have to match the suit of cards that come in the Barker's Row, which is the Barker is like the person that, kind of grabs people from the midway and says, hey, come
Ladies
see
and
the,
gentlemen.
yeah, come see the odd, the creepy, the terrifying, the monstrous, mammoth or invisible
Patrick.
man or Patrick.
Yeah, the disgustingly gigantic and hairy in odd places.
So you are just trying to fill up your grandstand, and I didn't know about this game when it was on Kickstarter. I missed it, but I saw some Instagram posts from different board game people that I follow, and the design of this game is incredible. Just it's really fun. It's different. The artwork is super good, and so I said I have to have this. Where do I find it? It's released. You can buy just the retail copy, but on the Kickstarter release, there were a couple extra things that were like really cool. So one of the things you have a card deck here that has these different suits of cards for like the monstrosities, the horrors, the oddities. There's wild cards.
Do you have those in sleeves?
Well, here's the thing that came with it. It came with sleeves. The Kickstarter version came with sleeves. So the back of the cards have the type of card they are, a wild card. These sleeves were cut so that you can still see it. And they're protected.
Nice.
They're super good.
You're missing
Really
this if you're
awesome.
not watching the video, everybody.
And then, just look at the art style. It's really incredible. It looks really, I'm showing the regular camera, and then you guys can see it.
Yeah, the art style is great.
It's
got kind of
super
a
good.
kooky. It kind of looks like Lumberjanes. Have you
It's a
seen the
little
artwork
bit
for
Lumberjanes. Yeah, definitely. I thought of that when I saw it. So the artist is Andrea, and I'm sorry if I butcher this name, Andrea Olgiati. She's done a couple other board games, New Salem and Winter Tales. She's done the artwork for those. This game was put out by Overworld Games. They've done like a couple games that I've never heard of, and then they did Good Cop, Bad Cop. That was a game I've heard of. Booze Barons, Exposed, a couple other games that I hadn't really heard of, and it was designed by Stephen Aramini, and he's done Circle the Wagons, Groves, Tricky Tides, Yardmaster. These are games that are like more of those fringe games that you've maybe heard of but not really ever played because they haven't been super popular. But this game, so far as I'm reading through the rules and looking at the stuff, is a very simple game. You calculate your points with this like strongman stand, and you have these different like tokens that can move up and down based on like what your points are. And then you have your attractions, which is another thing that came with the Kickstarter is the sleeves for the attractions. So it's just clear on the front, and then it says attractions.
Nice.
And these attractions, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. There's Montezuma's Crown, Pharaoh's Tomb. There's Creeper the Clown, the Soothsayer, the Invisible Man, Twin Blade Twins, the Sword Swallower, the Werewalrus. There's a Minotaur, a Living Dinosaur. And so there's like all these different types of attractions. And then you fill your meeples on a little grandstand that's cardboard. You put it together, super easy to put together, but it adds dimension. I think that's the thing that was really cool is seeing pictures of this online was it's a board game, but there's a lot of dimension to it. It's, there's tall things, and then you have all the meeples, and these meeples, I don't know if they're screen printed or not. It's going to be really hard to see on this camera just because of focus issues, and they're super small. But it comes with 13 unique meeple.
Maybe you could flash a picture of it right here on the edit.
Yeah. I'll put a picture in.
One frame.
But it has 13 unique meeples.
I heard Patrick say milk cream.
Milk cream.
I was telling Mackenzie to pick some up from the store. I just remembered.
Oh, gross.
I see.
But they're really fun. There's all these different fun little designs, and I'll try and put a picture of all of them so you can see there's all kinds of different rubes.
And I believe the designs were stretch goals, right? Originally they were just meeples.
So, yeah, they were. Well, no, they had I think they had like 8, but then as they hit stretch goals, they just added more different people. But the gameplay's awesome. The other thing it came with is for the midway. It came with this like mat, this plastic mat where you can put.
I love play mats.
Put all the cards.
None of my
with
games
the different
have
categories.
play mats. And I just
You just
really
got to
want
buy better
play mats.
games.
Well, I mean, it would be nice to have one for like Clank. That'd be a great one to have play
I
mat
agree.
for.
That would be a good one with a playmat. I'm sure you could probably find one or make
I'm
one.
sure that
Just
you could.
design one and have it printed. They're not that much.
Yeah.
It seems like a work.
It's just it's like printing a custom mouse pad.
Don't worry, Patrick. I'd be the one designing it.
Andrew, can you just design that?
Print it. I'll do that, Luke.
All right, cool. But yeah, I mean, Barker's Row, it's available now. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on Cool Stuff Inc. You can find it on eBay. Your local game store for sure probably has it. It's really good. And the artwork is great. It's a really fun concept. And there's a lot of really cool attractions. And the style is just super good. So that's it, man. The other thing, so before we go, the other thing I want to mention is today, if you're listening on release day, we have the Kickstarter just launched from Superplastic. And so Superplastic is the collab between Paul Budnitz, who started Kid Robot, and Huck Gee, who kind of maybe put Kid Robot on the map, so to speak. They've joined up and they started Superplastic, their first figure, Janky. They've gotten something like 14 to 15 artists to do a series. The first series is it's the Janky, and it's got 20 limited edition toys, 16 artists, 16 famous artists, people like that we've seen, like Joe Ledbetter.
His looks great.
Yeah, I mean, there's Junko Mizuno. I mean, all kinds of people. Man, there's a lot of really like up and
As well
comers
as
too.
Huck Gee and Paul Budnitz.
Yeah, Huck did one.
Yeah.
Jake Parker. All kinds of cool stuff. So that's live right now. You can get. We won't go into like the list of everything right now because subject to change as of our recording. But there's a lot of really cool stuff going up.
We'll cover it when it goes live. We'll go through. We'll do maybe a more extensive.
Yeah, maybe.
review of what
Yeah.
it is.
Because
That
it'll
way-
be live for a month.
Yeah, but it's on Kickstarter.
Yep.
So go ahead and jump in and back it. Once you'll see on Kickstarter that they're doing achievements. It's not something I've seen on a campaign before. And once they actually fulfill their achievements, I think everybody is getting a toy for like a penny, which is pretty crazy.
I've seen some board games do that.
Yeah,
do
there's
achievements.
challenges. challenges and achievements.
I am not. Remember, last week we listed off how many Kickstarters we're currently backing.
Sure.
Each of you were at either 7 or 9. I'm right now at 0.
That's fine.
So for me, it's like a brand new concept. I'm confident they're the first to do it.
The other cool thing with this is if you refer people to the Kickstarter, you get free toys based on referrals. So you can get a referral link. You can post it to your social. So just go to the Kickstarter, pledge for the campaign.
No. Go to mof1podcast.com. Go to this episode link. We have a link to the Kickstarter in the show notes.
Whatever.
Or
you do what you want. Patrick wants you to do that. I want you to do what you want to do. So that's it. Toys and Games is done. And let's move on.
Well, that's it for our episode. That's all. You can find us at mof1podcast.com, like Patrick just said, or you can find us wherever you want to find us. That's what Luke just said. You can find us on social media. Just search
Go to
MF1 Podcast.
AOL.com. We might be there. Who knows? Whatever you feel like.
You can find us all over the internet at MF1 Podcast. You can support the show on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/MF1 Podcast to throw a couple dollars in each month. That helps us out so much. It helps us continue to build and do new things, much like Timed Edition, like Patrick alluded to earlier. Hit up Timed Edition. It is live now. See all sorts of incredible artists contributing content each week to this new platform. And again, if you're a regular content creator, submit it, and maybe you'll be featured on there as well. We would love to have more people on there with us. And what else am I thinking about? Shops. Go to shop.mf1podcast.com. You can get cool swag for the podcast.
Yep.
Support the show and look cool while you're doing it. And man, I just feel like there's so many things. Rate, review, subscribe, like, share, follow, all the different things on all the different platforms. Rating and reviewing the show on iTunes is huge, more than you can probably even understand. It doesn't cost any money, takes very little time, but it helps us out so much. So if you've yet to do that and you're a regular listener to the show, head over and do that. We will read the review when it comes in. We'll read it online. If you're a new patron, we will read out your name on the show. So we will celebrate you when you celebrate us. It's a beautiful symbiotic relationship when we do it that way. But otherwise, we're going to get out of this episode. I'm Andrew.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Luke.
Peace out.
Bye.
Hold on to your butts.